lifts, like lifts. And then I also like to use these for conditioning, right? They're great for conditioning. CrossFit has done a lot with conditioning with dumbbells. But I made this, I wrote kind of this morning, just like a little checklist of stuff we're going to go through with some key points. Feel free to take some notes on this. I mean, this is like old school, man, handwritten, right? This is something, right? I was going to try to get everything together. I just didn't have time to put a bunch of stuff together. So this is what it is. So we'll start with the clean. And then we'll go to the snatch. Then we'll go to the jerk. The one that you might use the least is the jerk for people with the dumbbell split jerk. I think they're super effective though. Like I said, the Olympic lifts for me, more than anything else, is they teach coordination. They teach your whole body to work together. And if you're training athletes, just general people, getting that full body coordination is so important. I think it's really overlooked by a lot of people. So this is kind of an easy way to implement it. So do we need to warm up at all? We're just gonna kind of start. Here, let's go. So let's get
Yeah, okay, you answer the question for us.
now. You guys look like you're ready to go. We can pair up too. So we're gonna start with just some dumbbell front squats, and then we're gonna follow this order that I have here. We got dumbbell front squats. We're gonna work from the top down. Instead of working from the floor up, we're gonna work top down. I would go light. We're gonna do these now. 15s are good. Yeah, 20s are good. And you guys can share too. We can have like group 1, group 2. Let's do that.
You want pairs or singles?
Double. Let's go double. Let's go 2 of them. Let's go 2 of them. And then why don't we go? I think we should go on the flatter surface. All right, so let's move back here.
I'm gonna try to
join into here.
Yeah, you keep rolling. Let me just try to figure out what the best place to do that.
So first thing with
Yeah, go.
Don't need it back though the whole way. It's the only thing.
Put it on the lap
Yeah.
and just move the box.
Figure it out. So that you don't have to. Water bottle.
All right, go ahead, man. Don't mind me.
All right, so first thing with dumbbell cleans specifically, is how you want to hold them. That happens one of my first key points is you want to get pinky against the back part of the dumbbell, because I want you to carry that dumbbell actually on your shoulder. I want you to feel that rack position on your shoulder. So let's just get elbows underneath. If you've got a guy who struggles with flexion and external rotation, this is going to cause them some problems. But try to go dumbbells, elbows underneath the dumbbells, and let's just do five reps of dumbbell front squat. I'm assuming you guys all can squat pretty well. There you go. Try to hit it like there. So it's sitting. Yeah, a bigger dumbbell will sit better for you. Left side's getting you a little bit, huh? Try to let that head of the dumbbell sit right there. Elbows underneath. There you go. I'm gonna try really force them up on it. You can put them down and take a rest in between. You don't have to hold it the whole time. Okay, so that's where I would start somebody would be, if you're introducing these, if you're introducing the dumbbell clean, I would start with those dumbbell front squats and you get pretty solid with them. Maybe you do that first session, you just do like sets of 10 or something, and then something you can move to. I have ladder on there, dumbbell ladder, clean ladder, but I like to use that ladder for a lot of stuff where you go lightweight, medium weight, heavyweight. I usually do like 5 reps light, 5 reps medium weight, 5 reps heavyweight, or you can do like 5, 3, 1, or some kind of graduated progression. And then once they get really comfortable with it, then you can move to some other pieces of it. So the next piece would be, again, you're going to grab the back of the dumbbell and you're going to let it hang a little bit. It would just be the RDL. So when you want to work on that hinge position, you just come down to about mid shin, okay, and then just stand all the way up with it and let that thing hang. You have to watch not letting that dumbbell. You'll see people want to let it hang out in front of them. You got to use the lat to hold it back, kind of in line with the leg. Okay, so small bend of that knee and hinge. I know Joe teaches you how to teach people how to hinge. You guys all do a really good job. Let's just do about 5 or 6. Put that thumb around it. There you go. Thumb around the dumbbell. You have to go thumb around. It's much safer that way. Okay, so that would be like the next thing you do. Maybe you do that in one session. Maybe you're front squatting and you're hinging. So maybe you go, all right, I'm going to make you do 5 dumbbell front squats, take them down, do 5 hinges, work on those mechanics and feel comfortable with it. I would say the next thing you want to do is it's going to be a lift off from the floor. So you're gonna let the dumbbell hang because you want that extra space. This is a lot farther down than this. And I was like like for me, I can't even keep my back nice and straight all the way. I'm gonna have to round a little bit, right? See, I have to round my lower back to get all the way to the floor. So you could do something like, if you want to do them from the ground, put them up on blocks. If you have like high bumper plates, you can put them up on bumper plates, something like that, so they can keep their back straight. I would also say a little bit of rounding with the light weights isn't gonna kill them, isn't gonna hurt them, isn't gonna cause that much of a problem. And if you think about real life, if they're picking something up off the ground, that lower back's probably gonna be a little bit rounded all the way down to the bottom anyway. So maybe it's preparing them for something like that as well, but those are your options. So I would say the next thing that you want to do is work on that lift off. You're gonna let the dumbbells touch right outside the feet here, and then push the knees back. You see how my knees flex? Once I get below the knee, right, I hinge to my knee, and then once I get below the knee, this is with a barbell or dumbbell, the knees do the flexion, okay, and then they extend, and they're holding into that position. Lats are engaged. You can see my lats are engaged. I'm not letting it hang out this way. So we're just here, small bend, and just doing a lift off. So we want those shins to go from angle forward to straight up and down. Okay?
Lift off.
Lift off. Yep, lift off to the knee. I do these a lot with just the barbell too. So you try to get that compression, let the dumbbells hang, and then I just want you to feel your knees push back, and you're gonna load your hamstrings. Just feel your hamstrings loading up. Don't let them straighten all the way out. You feel like you let them straighten all the way out. Keep a little bit of flexion in the knee. Good. That's it. Let those hips hit on the outside of your foot. Butt a little bit lower, okay? And it's a really compressed position down there. But it's not simple.
Sally, you want to grab the 20 pounds?
Yeah.
The light right here. I'll grab it there. Here's what is it?
There's 30s here. I don't know. I think you should let Skylar have the 20s.
Yeah, you should take the
30s.
Yeah.
I think that would be the better. I think that would be the better move.
It's time for it.
Hey, Eric, Skylar, Eric. Okay, great.
Good. We already met.
Okay, sorry.
All right. So the next thing I have, so that's like, those are your intro progression movements that you should be pretty solid with before you move to the whole thing. One intermediate step that you could do here, I don't have it on the paper, and this is something, this is one of my athletes who's still big and strong, right? Plays football in college, right? But he just, even when he couldn't clean well, you know, but he snatched almost as much as he cleaned because he had space to get up overhead and snatch. But with the barbell clean, he just couldn't rack it real well because he was so tight. And then I would try to make him do these dumbbell front squats and dumbbell cleans and things like that. But if you have somebody that just really struggles to rack it, they can't flex, they can't externally rotate at the same time, you could do something. And or if you're doing like a conditioning, putting this in a conditioning piece, you could just do dumbbell jumps. Repeat dumbbell jumps, maybe a minute or something like that. And this could be a nice intermediate step before you actually do the full clean. You get all the way down it. If we're just jumping. So we're going to work on pushing the knee back to get the hamstring loaded. And then the action is knees come forward as vertical goes, as torso goes vertical, and then you're straight up. Okay, so let's actually do some of those slow. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. We're going to be down in this bottom position. You're going to go lift off to the knee. And then we have to have this knee comes forward and extend up through the toes. Okay, so let's try that again. We're gonna come all the way back down. You want to feel knees push back and then knees rock forward and you finish high up on your toes. Okay, so we're gonna do a few of those. Let me see you guys go. Knees rock forward and go. Good, I see you guys working through it. That's good. But that's, you know, that's the triple extension piece, right? We want to extend the knees, the hips, and the ankles together, like you would see in a sport. Done with those 5, let's put them down. And then I got one more drill for you to kind of bridge this gap a little bit. And if you have trouble, somebody's struggling with this, you can have them do something like this. You're going to take your hands on your knees. You're going to be in the hinge position, right? So your knees are back and you just tell them to jump. You see what happens to my knees? It's automatic. So push it back so you feel your hamstrings. Don't lock them out. They're still a little bit bent. And now just jump as high as you can. It happens naturally, right? The knee comes forward, your torso goes vertical, and you go straight up. Okay, so this is do about 5 of these, and you can feel it happening. But that's what we want to do with the barbell. That's the kind of feeling you want to do with the dumbbell too. That's the jump, the normal order of jumping mechanics. A little more. Just jump as high as you can. Keep your arms down at your side too, because that's where they're going to be with the dumbbell and the barbell. Don't even think about it. Yeah, push them back. And don't even think, just jump. Good.
Okay.
It happened naturally. Some of the other ones I think you were trying to think through, and you kind of tip forward still at the very end. So you want, those knees come forward. They go, basically your knees go they're forward over your toes. They go back over your ankle. Then they've got to come forward over your toes again. So you can actually jump up. Okay, so that's kind of the order. Now, once you've gotten all that, you through everybody, you got through everybody with those drills, then you can start to clean. And we're just here. Back to the shoulder, full squat it. Come on back down. You guys want to give it a shot? You've kind of done all the drills.
Again.
Yeah, let's go for 5. Take your time, go slow in the beginning, and then crank it, and right to the squat. So take that thing down to the squat too. What'd you feel?
And use my hips.
Right, so. Good, just keep going. And I'll go over something in a second.
And then you catch with wider feet.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second too. Press down, bend those knees, flex the knees. You're thinking too much.
Yeah, I'm
You're thinking way too much. Your dumbbells outside your legs. All right. Hey, pretty good there, Joe. You need to feel better?
Yeah, it's all swollen.
All right, so a couple things I'm seeing. Joe talked about shuffling the feet. When people Olympic lift with the bar, I like when they shuffle their feet. You got 2 stances in Olympic lifting. You've got your jumping stance, which is feet directly under your hips. That's the stance you would use to jump as high as you can for a vertical jump. And then you've got your squatting stance, which is at the shoulders, toes pointed out a little bit. Okay, let your hips sink down. So some of you were kind of just set up a little wider and you weren't shuffling your feet at all. And that's, I think, for the dumbbell lifts, that's okay, especially if you're working them for conditioning. If you're working them for power, you might want to do the shuffle. I don't think it's as important with the dumbbells to shuffle, but let's practice it anyway, just so you kind of have an idea. So here's a drill that you can do to work on that shuffle. As you just go to the top of your, go up here, right? The arms are nice and straight. Okay, and then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna shuffle and drop. Ready? So 1, 2, 3, shuffle, drop. Go ahead. Good. We want to think about jumping down. So that's the thing with the Olympic lifts. It's kind of this paradox of standing up and jumping down. So let's try it again one more time. So we're gonna come all the way up. Arms are down, nice and long. 1, 2, 3. Jump down. Good. Let's do one more. Nice and tall. 1, 2, 3. Jump down. All right. Pretty good. Second piece of this, and I saw from a couple of you guys, ladies and Joe, you did pretty good with this. You can't curl early. Okay, so we have to let the legs, and I think I had that. Yeah, stand forward with straight arms. So you want to finish all of the leg drive here before the elbow flexes at all. Okay, so once your elbows bend, all that power ends. Okay, nice little rhyme to think of. Once the elbows bend, the power ends. And that applies to the barbell lifts, snatch, clean. If you bend early, you lose a lot from your legs. So let's try one more set of 5. Think about, let's try it with the shuffle this time. And I want you to really keep the arms nice and long all the way through the range of motion.
What's the shuffle? You popping out?
Yeah, my feet shuffling out.
Okay.
Yes. Going from jumping to squat stance. Okay, so let's do 5. All the way down to the floor. Long arms and shuffle. Those, all in all, pretty good. So I want to see you grab those dumbbells on your shoulder. Yeah, good. At least you do one more now. I'll push you in the right spot if you're not there. Right, those elbows through. Think about pointing them again. Okay, not all the way up, maybe like, you're gonna point them at this, yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Move that finish a little long. Just take it a little bit more connected to the ground, you're getting some air time. Trying to.
Oh, we don't want there.
We don't want air time, no. You still gotta finish the legs.
Yeah.
Better. Did you finish all the way with the legs?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you got to about here and then start to work your way back down. So how tall are you?
5'9".
Stand up to 5'11", and then you can go down. Better, but what did we hit? What did we do?
I curled there.
Curl, yeah, curl early,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's hard to put all these things together,
Yeah.
especially if you haven't done that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
before. So what you'd be working on, you'd be
Well, some
working on.
correlation on kettlebell stuff, if you
Yeah.
don't do hips all the time there either. It's powerful.
Absolutely. Those things, you'll see this across your clients, but they don't finish with their hips in this, there's a chance they don't do it with kettlebell swing, so. Once you learn that to swing, it'll be easier in this too.
Yeah.
And then so maybe some of the, maybe for you, maybe for both you guys, those dumbbell jumps are a good idea to learn to finish all the way with the legs while keeping the arms straight.
Yeah.
So maybe those be the drill, maybe you do like 5 dumbbell jumps and then 5 cleans. So the pattern of movement correctly, jumps, the drill, and then go ahead and do the clean.
Eric, do you ever complex that, go load, unload with that?
What do you
So,
mean?
so if you're doing a dumbbell jump, have them hit like 5, then unload them.
Oh, sure,
And
yeah,
have
that's
them go,
something,
and then pick up the dumbbells again, so they feel what.
sure, yeah,
vertical
that's
displacement
something,
is,
yeah,
yeah.
that's something you could definitely do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing, with these kinds, you can be really creative, with these lists too, you can be complex, and actually, what we can, I call them skillful implementation. So that was the full clean, let's do these other 2 first, and then we'll work on a 3-position clean. All right, so we did full cleans from the ground. Another option would be just to do them from the hang. So we go to that RDL position. And we just clean from there. All right, so if you've got somebody who doesn't get to the floor well, maybe the back hurts a little bit when they compress all the way down there, you just go from the hang. Arms stay nice and straight, lift this up, and we finish with the legs. And there's less movement to worry about. You don't have to worry about that knee flexion and extension anymore. So let's just do 5 hang cleans.
You still have to go with triple extension.
Oh, yeah, it's actually easier to hit for a lot of people from the hang than it is from the floor. Yeah, see, that looks better for you already.
Yeah, well, I've done a bunch of hangs.
Oh, there you go.
I just don't do them from the floor.
Yeah,
Jump from the
it's amazing
Yeah,
that tibia length screws everything up sometimes.
yeah.
You can still finish better. Don't go as low either. Start up higher than that. Yup, and now straight
So
up.
just hips.
Yup. Good. Think about squeezing your butt cheeks. Better. Then I'd still like to see you rack. I don't know.
Higher.
Yeah.
I think I'm.
More like this. So put the flat part of the dumbbell right on your shoulder.
Thank you.
Let me see you do one more hang.
I need more hips.
Hey, you can tell, right?
It's the whole, I'm wanting to curl it over before.
Yes.
I think I'm a freak.
Be patient. It's lightweight, right? You
Yeah.
can move that around all day long.
Yeah.
Good. And then the next drill might actually be really useful.
Here, so
Okay.
I'll give you the 30. Alright,
Well, you want more weight?
then she wants like soft.
I mean, I will with a softer landing.
So that's why you gotta train upper body. You gotta build up the shoulder. So when the dumbbell hits your shoulder, it's hitting the toes.
That.
All right, so last one will be a high hang dumbbell clean. So this one's just no hinge at all. We're just bending a little bit of knee flexion. And then we're up from there, okay? So just a small little bit of knee flexion, jump. And we're on it, okay?
The previous guy you put in if someone has a hard time getting to the bottom.
Yeah.
When would you put this? Or is it just a compliment?
It's just another variation. It's just something to work on coordination, you know, I think you should be able, with the Olympic, I like my Olympic lifters to be able to do the movement from any position. From blocks, from hangs, and then I'll show you a couple more in a second, but we're just gonna go here, chest stays up. Yeah, we don't hinge at all, we don't get over the top at all, it's try to get the lift from as little bit of knee flexion as you can. We're just applying force from a really small range of motion.
So this should be harder. So we're shooting our heads back. Just
Stand up real tall. Just give me knee flexion. You go. Just go from there. And yeah, squat it all the way.
okay, so you
This-
went all the way down. Got it.
So it's not. hip
So here, stand up all the way. Just knee flexion and up. Good.
I
Yes.
keep feeling myself with it.
Yeah. Little knee flexion and up. So here's your order, right? You get down there. And right before you initiate with your legs, break the elbows.
All right,
Okay, so
so
think,
more or less.
yeah, yes, think, tighten this up a little
Yeah.
bit, and then sometimes if you give yourself a little wrist flexion. That'll help stop the elbow wanting to bend.
And
Okay, so nice little wrist flexion, little tension in the wrist, little tension in the lats, relax the elbows, just legs first, then arms. That was better. That was the correct order. Do a couple more. Wrist flexion, lats tight, small bend, legs. Ah, they bent first again. They were at the same time that time. You're starting to feel it now. That's good. Small bend. What went first? Let's watch him. We'll have to watch him now. Okay, let's see.
Hey, no pressure, man.
No pressure. What went first? Did you see the elbows? Watch, you're gonna watch his elbows and his legs. We wanna see the legs extend fully before the elbows break.
Everyone's gonna see this.
is this what not to do?
Still dumbbell.
Still, you see it? The elbows still wanna go a little bit. So that would be like, this is real nitpicky stuff, right? But I think it's important. Right? Try to get it right one more time here.
So more up than versus.
Just think, stand.
Oh,
Is there
And
any
then
value
pull down.
from like firing triceps a little bit early in the game?
So, yeah, you could also give that a shot. I've had actually guys tell me that helps them, where they lock their tricep muscle. And then make sure their legs just do all the work first, and then the curl to your shoulders is an afterthought. That was it,
Better.
and the dumbbells moved faster. Right, just slightly, that was great, good.
I like that. That helped a lot. That was good. That tricep, that made
Yeah.
a lot of sense.
Hey, can I ask you a stupid question? You're doing like 10 times more reps than everybody. Yeah, so, okay, make it up. This is obvious, but I want to say it out loud. So I felt my low back a little bit through a lot of it. I went into like a really mild hollow, maintained my hollow, everything was fine. So what do you talk about in terms of like stability and bracing or whatever you're doing this sort of thing? What do you talk about that normally?
Train kids a lot of the time. They don't really have a lot of problems, thankfully,
Yeah, yeah.
except for like range of motion type stuff.
Good. Do you, when you're setting up for yourself,
Yeah,
do you think about a brace before applying the force?
I think about filling my lungs with air.
Okay.
All right, so for me, a lot of times, you get your lungs full of air, that's fine, it's something to push against, it has some tension there, and then you solve a lot of problems.
Okay, so we're doing the same thing as you do, but I did it. So,
Yeah, I really think you are, yeah. We used to talk about that too, with the butt range, right? You get a little bit of that flexion underneath to start, and that kind of solves a lot of problems, so. All right, let's do a 3 position clean now. So this is just a little bit more technical. Once you get somebody that can kind of do all these things, you can do them from the bottom up, you can go from the top down. So you go 3 position. Here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we do 1 from each position. Do 1 from high hang, 1 from the knee, 1 from just the hang, and then 1 from the floor. Okay, so that's
One you're vertical, second one you're hinging, and
a
third
one
one
you
you're.
compress. Yeah, so this would be a good drill for somebody who bent with elbows early.
All good.
What could possibly go wrong? Everything's fine.
Wow, so there's your 3 position clean. Okay. You could also do them the other way. You could go from the bottom, middle, high. If I have a weightlifter who struggles to get under the bar, like they're just slow under the bar, I'll have them go from the bottom up because there's less time to get underneath the bar, so they have to move faster. So they'll go, walking the floor is easy because you have more time to accelerate the bar. This one's a little bit harder, you have less time to accelerate, and then when they do this one with the bar, that's real hard, because you only have that much space to apply force to the weight, and you've got to pin underneath that bar. So there's a couple options. Playing with various catch depths, okay, so we haven't talked about catching any of these in power. I've had you guys do full squats with all of these. And I generally like that the most, because that full body coordination, you get the mobility piece there. You have to brace the core really well with that deep squat. You guys are doing that pretty well. But you can do this, do 3 different catch positions. And we can do it, let's just say, we're gonna do 3 reps. We're gonna catch 1 high, like a high power clean. We're gonna catch 1 in the middle, and then we're gonna catch 1 full depth. So, and we're gonna do them all from the hang. So hang here, put that down, hang. A little lower, put the brakes on, but don't go all the way down. And that last one, down to that full squat. Okay, so let's try that. Let's try hang clean from the knee with 3 different depths.
When you catch, could you already be in your hip position?
You mean have some hip flexion?
Well, like, yeah, if you're going here, should you be catching and landing at the same time?
So you can ride it, you would ride it down most likely. So I would make those people go all, like, if you catch it high, that's okay. Just take it all the way down, okay? With the bar, I would instruct, if I have an athlete that struggles with racks, sometimes you'll see somebody clean and they go way underneath the bar and it crashes on them. And then they miss lifts because the bar is like crashing on them and they're not meeting that bar at its highest point. So this would be a drill where I'd be like, all right, you can do it. And then when you lighter weight, you're trying to meet the bar high. Okay, and then you're trying to meet the bar here, and then you're trying to meet the bar. Normally what you would do at the heaviest weights, you try to meet the bar parallel. And then it rocks you down a little bit and you pop out of it. But with the dumbbell clean, they're usually pretty light. You're probably gonna be able to catch it high all the time. But you're also working on deceleration here. So if you've got an athlete that's starting to slow down, this might be a good drill for them. Not much deceleration there. Here, boom, they gotta turn the brakes on because you don't want them. They're not allowed to go all the way down. And then you do one here, and you let them go all the way down and bounce out of it. So the other part of the Olympic lifts that I like is you gotta learn to put those brakes on. Right, it's super important. So let's give it a shot, 3 different heights.
And from a hinge.
Oh, yeah, let's just go do that. Let's just
What
go
if you
from the
push
height.
it?
5, medium, 1 full.
I did it. I
Working arm.
did it. I felt it.
They put them on the outside of your shoulders.
You gotta get your elbows through. You guys are catching it like this. You gotta get elbows
On top of the
that
shoulder.
way.
Look back here a little bit more. So you just got such big biceps, man. I can't
Thanks, man. Thanks, you.
Yeah, that's where you would wanna be.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're heavy, guys let them slide down and they kind of get lodged in there, but I really like you having that control of them on their shoulders because you see that the pec flexes, the shoulder flexes, everything's engaged in there. The same thing when you have them up, you'll see in CrossFit, when they're doing dumbbell front squats, whatever, they rest them up on top like this, and nothing's engaged in the upper body. And that's because they're going for maximum reps or they're trying to go fast. They're trying to conserve as much energy as possible. When I'm doing these kinds of things, I want them to be able to turn on and turn off their muscles as quick as possible. So that's, the difference between a really good athlete and a mediocre athlete is how fast you can turn on and turn off your muscle, your firing. So I like that idea of it's loose, boom, and then it's tight. You hold, and you're still. Like you come back down, you're loose again, boom, you're tight again. So it just mimics athleticism. Another one I like, I don't have on here, but I call them rebound canes. These make you mega strong. I had a kid do them this year and his clean just went through the roof. He was doing like 250 pounds of these, which is pretty impressive, but here's how they work. And you could do these for, probably from the hang, most likely from the hang. And they just look like this. You can clean it, come up, we can dump it, and go right back into it. Kind of like a biometric jump, okay? But there's no stop, wait, pause, clean. It's, your intention is to get through it quick.
So you want the dumbbell overload, that's 15 centimeters in a second.
Yes, the first one's obviously gonna be like a normal clean, but every one after that, you get the arm straight and it's like a repeat jump.
I think the rest of it.
With lifting, 3, 4 maybe. With this, you could do high reps with this.
Okay.
You could do up to 10. Yeah, yeah, and like power endurance.
Well, Eric, what do you want us?
Let's do 7.
Don't tire us out too bad.
Let's do 7. But here's the big thing now. You can pause the top. That's fine. You gotta collect yourself. Make sure your feet are underneath you because you don't want to be moving your feet as those dumbbells are falling. You've got to let them fall, arms get straight. Then you're into the hinge and jump. Okay? You've got to let the arms get straight first before you get to that hinge. But you try to just blend it all together. All right, let's give it a shot.
Good bit. It's good bit.
Squat it all the way down. You gotta squat it. Faster. Go.
You did it again, keep doing it.
Start at the top, go back to the top. Let them fall, get arms straight. They gotta fall faster than that. You gotta let them go. You gotta let go. Don't control it.
I'm coordinated trying to do it.
You also gotta let your hips absorb your weight on the way down too.
Like a kettlebell switch.
Speed going.
Go.
Yeah, Eric, I found myself letting my belt get behind me a little bit. Is that okay or not? Or
You wanna try to straight down, so you gotta let your ass get back.
I was
You gotta-
creating like a bigger part.
Yeah, we don't wanna swing it out. When you lift lifts, we don't want a big arc of the bar. We want that thing coming straight up and down.
Do cardio.
This is.
I'll see you.
Oh, you heading out?
Yeah,
All right. Rebound cleans, all right, so that's what I would call those, is rebound cleans. I don't have them on the skillful implementation. And then the clean ladder would be the last one, and I talked about this slightly, but let's give it a shot. You guys are all using the same weight. Let's go, what do we got, 15s here? 15, let's set one up, we'll go down this way, 15, and this is how you trick people into doing heavier weights. Right, you can trick people into going. Yeah, you trick them into heavier weights. 5, 30.
More than 30.
Yeah, let's get a 35 out here. All right, we're gonna start at the light one.
We do it every single one.
Everyone, yeah, let's try everyone.
Just toss those off to the side, if you don't mind.
The ladders are great.
How many reps?
Let's just do 3s. Okay, I like doing these with kettlebell swings. I like doing these with almost any. full
So are we
body.
getting in a line? over
Yeah,
here?
you're gonna get in line. Everybody's
Yeah.
gonna start here. So Scott, you get to go first. All right, and you're just gonna do 3 cleans. Let's go from just the hang. Let's go from the hang at the knee. We're gonna do 3 full cleans, put them down. 3 full cleans, put them down. 3 cleans,
Full cleans, meaning like squatting. down.
Correct.
Okay.
yes. And then you're gonna work as high as you're comfortable. If you get to the 25 and you're like, I'm good, you bail out,
Okay.
okay? If you feel like you wanna try the 30s, you're absolutely welcome to,
Okay.
okay? Or the 35s,
Are we doing the rebound ones or however? slow?
your choice.
Okay.
You know, you're most comfortable with. But now, here's the other thing, I think you kind of missed this piece, but put your pinky on the back of the dumbbell. There you go, let those things hang down a little bit. And then.
And then you want to finish bringing up the file right in.
Yep, as soon as she puts them down, the next person jumps in. Just go.
Yeah, ladies first.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's okay, you're probably better than me.
Put it down, beautiful, put them down, that was great.
I have no shame.
what's great about this method is you pattern the movement with very light weights. And then when you get to the heavy ones, you can just think about applying force. Good.
So how many of each?
Three.
Three?
Three each one.
Right?
Yep. Try to get that full squat.
Oh, okay.
Rebound action going on here, all right, good.
Got this. S. Well done.
Okay.
Better.
Work, wait, a little early. Do that
Good.
early. No.
Nicely done.
Better?
Really good one with the third.
One, try it.
Watch out for the metal behind.
Those aren't long, right? So with the really light ones, you can go slower and you can make sure the things are in the correct order. Yes. Good fight. Nicely done. What correct? Was that your knee?
What?
What made that noise? Was that your knee or your elbow?
No.
You said, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Thank for be upright right now. Thank you very much.
I think it was my knee.
Yeah.
Come on, Nick, you got one, just get him one.
Good job. Excellent.
Better?
Better.
Guess you just gotta do it. Not think.
Nick killed three. You gotta be able to do them.
I gotta be able to do it.
That wrap on the shoulder. Stand up more.
Standing is.
Yes. Yes, he should.
It's tall.
Am I not tall?
No, you're going like this.
Squeeze that butt.
There you go.
That's better. Much better, man. They should feel lighter when they stay straight.
Yeah, they do feel like
Yes.
it just kind of comes up.
Yeah, it just pops, right?
So for the girls, we saw your eyes, just so you know.
FYI, yes.
Are we gonna descend to?
No, I don't like going into descent. It's correct. When you go back to the beginning, so usually we do this like 3 or 4 times.
With rest?
Yeah, you rest at the end, unless you want to be mean and you really want to condition them, you make them go right back. to the
Survived, that's good.
And you can do 3 rounds. We're doing 5 rounds. You can do 4. You know, it just depends on what your client's looking for. There you go.
Scott, go asking if you were bringing pizza today, and I said, yeah, well, somebody thought that through. Perfect opportunity.
Good.
Yeah.
Come on, one more.
I'm thinking I'll get coffee.
Good, solid. Nicely done. The benefit of that, I was mentioning earlier, but I don't know if anybody heard. You get the pattern, and this worked really well for you. You get the pattern the movement with really light weights. Right? And then as you build up, you're like, all right, that movement's ingrained. Now I can just focus on being aggressive. Okay, and then that actually worked really well for you. So this is something that you might want to do to fix that earlier on, Ben.
Okay.
Okay, and then you just gotta work on standing up all the way.
Gotta extend.
You'll see it in the video.
Gotta squeeze my butt.
That's right. Squeeze your butt at the top. And then maybe for you, like just those drills where you're up here and you just hold, you just work.
So you're supposed to clench. You're literally just clenching.
No, because that'll slow you down, right? If
Think
you
about
you
dropping
think
it
about
out of the
squeezing your butt, yeah, like that'll slow you down. You'll lose that fluidity. I feel like if you really think about squeezing and holding, like you
Yeah.
would in bodybuilding, when you're
Yeah.
trying to build your butt,
That's
like,
what I mean.
yeah, it's not the same thing.
Got it.
But if
Okay.
you have that
It's just a
idea,
quick turn on.
yes,
Yeah, got it.
yes, and then relax and get
And
underneath.
come up.
Yeah.
Got it.
Cool, so I think that's the clean lesson for now. So let's move on to snatches.
So real quick, general populations.
Yeah.
Nothing hurts. Everything looks good. If you were gonna pick one to do more frequently than the rest, in terms of to the ground, that they have no pain,
Yeah,
from the hang, or like those shorter ones, is there a place you're gonna go the most frequently? Do you like the biggest range of motion the
Probably-
best?
not always.
Okay,
From the hang, you can probably handle the most weight for a lot of people.
okay.
You know, with the bar, I would say definitely the floor.
Okay.
But you could just have them hang a little lower and maybe they don't touch the ground, but they can press a little bit more. But I would say most likely you're gonna be from the hang or to the floor.
Okay.
So it just depends on what you wanna work on. You know, if you wanted to work on full range, you know, you need something really full body through a long line of action. That'd be great. If you wanna maybe hit more power and conditioning, maybe go from the hang more. So it's up to you. It's,
Should most people be able to get into rack position like this?
yeah, I would, yeah.
Just because I know that barbell, I really don't think too many people,
A lot of people struggle.
yeah.
A lot of
into
people
the-
struggle with,
The rack position,
especially if they haven't been taught at a young age.
yeah.
I get my guys, I get my hands on in middle school a lot of the time and early high school. So I can mold them into that position pretty well.
Is there any techniques you use to get them into the position?
With the barbell?
Yeah.
I just force them to go in there. A lot of front
Like
squats.
the wrists are bending back.
Yeah,
crazy.
Remember that one horrible stretch?
We do those, yeah,
That's a
yeah,
horrible
yeah. So he's talking about behind the head front squats. You take the bar and you hold it behind your head and kind of float it over your traps. And you try to front squat.
Oh, no shit.
It opens up.
Oh,
Yeah,
bad,
it's
dude,
really
awesome.
hard. So that's, I'll do that with
That
warm
sounds
ups.
awful.
We'll do shoulder cranking, so we'll put the bar on the rack and just crank the shoulders through this way, put it behind the head, crank the shoulders through, okay? Those types of things usually at the beginning. Yeah, you can do some of that. With the big groups that I have, it's like group one on the bar, doing them, group two, get on the bar, do them. And that warms up their wrists and things like that. But yeah, just forcing them to do it a whole lot. These-
Everybody's all tired and sweaty.
Right?
You look so
That's
relaxed,
one.
man. He's ready to drink beer.
But this, you know, the dumbbells being able to be held neutral,
I don't.
just about, allows people a lot of room.
Well,
All right,
I do. but
Let's,
not-
let's,
not enough,
snatch.
apparently.
Probably a lighter weight for these.
Oh, we're doing snatches, dude.
Yeah, this will be one arm. We're not gonna do this with two arms. Snatch with dumbbells are almost always single arm. If you can do them with two, you're an animal and you have really good mobility and you probably can't do a lot of weight. So they're always just using one dumbbell. So I might be in trouble here.
Nick, you're gonna throw that.
Look at the light, right? The drop
How do you
is
pay?
fine.
I might get your ceiling.
So what?
Uh,
Snatch have anything to do with this weight wise?
I would say whatever you were doing for the cleans, you just grab one.
At
for the
minimum.
snatch.
The same way.
Yeah, do the same way.
There we go, now we're
Yeah,
cooking.
just grab like
Grab whatever, we'll figure out what you need in a second. Actually, the first exercise here, you might wanna go lighter, maybe a dumbbell weight lighter, so maybe you can pair up with each other. So I have one arm,
Get the heavy one again?
Yeah.
I got one arm dumbbell overhead squats, like I suck at these, a lot of people are not good at these, but they're kind of a fun thing to learn.
If you want the stuff lighter.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Go overhead, reach like Statue of Liberty, you know, put one hand out, yeah, these are brutal. I struggle with these myself. I'm just trying to get down my full squat and stand up. This is probably the only full squat we'll do with these, but go ahead, give it a shot. Really reach the elbow. Yeah, I put the other hand up for counterbalance. And just try to do your best to get to a full range of motion. That's really good. I know. I'm a jerk. Shoot like 3 right, 3 left. It's hard, isn't it? No joke.
Gotta have a stacking control.
Yeah,
to get that knee.
I struggle with it too. Try to lock the
Yeah.
elbow.
Up.
So this, I bring this up just to challenge you a little bit and then to show that almost all the time when you snatch with the dumbbell, you're gonna catch the power position. You're not catching. You're gonna catch, no, so the power, so that's a full position, when you go all the way down, the power position would be, yeah, above parallel, okay, so when we
Right.
snatch.
There's a wolf wedge up there.
Oh, is there?
Black that-
Oh, I see that.
Yeah,
Well, it might-
it's gonna be a lot better with the wedge,
It's not good.
yeah. These are, I mean, if you have somebody who's really mobile, like you're pretty good at this. If you have somebody that has good mobility, good control, this is a nice challenging exercise for them to do, but very few people are catching dumbbell snatches and doing full squat. Unless you both them up, but I don't do those with my guys at all. So one of the things you'll see the most, with the dumbbell snatch is mostly just a power snatch. With the snatch, we want to put the dumbbell in front of us this way. Like even with our feet this way, and we're gonna do an overhand pronated grip most of the time. And I'm not even a huge fan of going from the floor on this. I like, if you're gonna go deep, kind of like right at mid shin where if a barbell had big bumper plates on it, that's where it would be, right here, and that's about where I would say you would take the dumbbell snatch from. If you got people that want to compress all the way to the floor, fine, but I don't think that's as necessary as what you do with a dumbbell cleans. All right, so let's just do a muscle snatch first, and a muscle snatch looks like this, and we can work on the full long range motion. You're down here at the bottom, and we're just gonna stand up and then pull it all the way overhead. We're gonna muscle it up overhead. So it's legs, and this is gonna be good for you to work on again. Legs finish, and then the elbow pulls high, and then you punch through to the top.
One more in the squat with feet to start, and then the,
your feet in position.
Not as much on these, because you need the space in between. So you're probably not gonna be in that true jumping stance for these. You're gonna be a little bit wider just because you need the space, kind of like in a kettlebell swing. If you're doing a jumping action, but you're in squat stance, just because you need the space. So this one's really quite similar. So let's just go. We're gonna, if you start at the top, you get that small bend, you can hinge and compress, and then it's just a rapid acceleration with your legs, and then follow through with the arm. Stand up all the way.
No, they're on top off the ground.
No,
That's what I always do.
no, you probably just can go heavier.
and we're going like, Eric, are we going the most efficient path, like
Yeah,
that
straight.
or long elbow? Like, we're not here.
No,
we're
not
there.
yet. We're straight up.
line to the ceiling.
Straight up. Think you're gonna scratch your shirt on the way up. Just don't hit yourself in the face. Get that good punch to the top. And this is one where you can squeeze your butt at the top of the ball, but you lock out, just like in the top of a kettlebell swing, when you squeeze everything and kind of pause for a second, same idea with this. A muscle snatch. Good. People generally do these quite well, naturally. But pretty simple as far as snatch variations go. Yeah, you guys are killing it. Now in CrossFit or whatever, in competition, they'll make you hit the floor.
Yeah.
Because they have to have that standard, overhead, which is why I taught people to suck in CrossFit. But, so that's the muscle snatch, and you can do the same thing. You can set up a ladder, 3 right, 3 left, move down, 3 right, 3 left, move down. The other thing I want to show you guys is power snatches. I do have full snatches on there, but like I said, they're really struggle. You really struggle with them. Look at my key points here. Hold hand in the middle. I talked about that. Prone in hand between the legs, and then the active shoulder overhead. We don't want to finish soft with a bent elbow. We want to reach up. I always say, think freedom and Statue of Liberty at the top. Reach, get that long push. Okay, to make the shoulder super active. Okay. So let's try a power snatch. I'm going to power snatch. You gotta do kind of what we did in the clean. You're gonna finish with the legs, and then we're gonna drop underneath it just a little bit. Sometimes putting that arm out to counterbalance works pretty well. So we're here, just and then stand up. And this is more just coordination. I have a lot of people that struggle to get that finish, rebend action. Okay. Yeah, catching something overhead is a struggle for a lot of people. So let's try. Let's just do 3 right, 3 left. Yeah, and you'll notice that shoulder really has to stay active. Going to the full one, huh? That's a great problem. Yeah, so turn the brakes on and just catch it, do a mini squat. Okay, catching that power position. That's your first, okay? Even longer in this, right? You gotta be even more patient. There you go. Better.
It's still a little slow.
Good. Another thing I think would help too is if try to keep it a little bit closer, so don't let it get out front too much. Try to keep it a little closer.
So it's more vertical than.
Yes, there's no loopiness to it.
Okay.
Yeah, better. Good. That's your left, you a righty?
Yeah.
So you'll see that sometimes where the weak hand is better because the right hand really wants to pull and control because it's your
Yeah,
strong
that's
hand.
what I feel like. I feel like I'm just want to like almost.
All arm.
Yeah, upper of it.
This one, you're letting your body do the work because it's your weak hand and, it's not as innovative as the right hand. Your left side's really good.
Is the catching depth like at your discretion where you feel the best?
Yeah, yeah, and there's, if you can, it's mostly where you can stabilize it overhead.
Yeah.
Right, you get a little too deep, see how I'm tipping forward, I'm not good at these at all. I got such a long lever that it's really hard for me to control with you know, lack of thoracic mobility. Yeah.
Eric,
Yeah,
you probably already covered this, but the driving point through the feet, is it all the foot, is it heel, is it?
so actually, we're gonna talk about this in the jerk too, but flat-footed, I want you to have equal pressure in the toes and equal pressure in the heel. Okay, so flat-footed all the way through until you get to that final leg piece, and then you come up through the toes.
Got it.
All right. And then I got full snatches on here. You're the only one doing full snatches from what I see. Why don't you show us some full
Yeah, like
snatches?
equal.
Because these are really quite good. See, she took them all like that. Go to the other side. Yeah, that's really good. So I think most of us were holding the dumbbell here. Sometimes people find it easier to control it when you go from here and then we're this way. Externally rotate a little bit. It tends to be a little bit easier to control the dumbbell. So if you have somebody that's doing power snatches and they're not able to lock the elbow or they're losing control of it, you tell them, hey, put the pinky forward and you come back on the catch. That usually locks things in place. Let's do one more set where you're just thinking about that position overhead where you can finish and then lock it out. And pinky forward. Like you would do in a waiter's walk, right? So if you do a waiter's walk with the dumbbell, most of the time people naturally go here instead of here, unless you're doing the kettlebell, but I even like the kettlebell to be this way as well. So let's try. Let's just do 3 right, 3 left.
I just have a question
Yeah.
about the overhead catch, right? So it's clear you have a little bit of shoulder mobility issue going
Yeah.
overhead, right? Where's kind of that zone where you're comfortable with the catch? Like ideally, you want to be completely vertical over the shoulders.
Yeah, you want to. Yeah, you want to be here where
Yeah.
the upper arm covers the ear.
Yeah.
You know, when you start to see that thing move forward, now the shoulder has to work really hard to support the weight.
Everything starts to work really hard before that weight goes out. front.
Right, exactly. So, you know, so here I'm good. I go a little bit farther, you can see I want to move forward. Right, and so I wouldn't be doing full deck. I'd probably be best stopping it.
And then like related to that with Skylar, watching her is pretty fascinating because she's kind of like Gumby and she just kind of does it.
Yeah.
You know, where would be a point if she was doing a full snatch for whatever reason, where you'd be like, yo, Skylar, learn how to put brakes on that, and control that at depth, because she was literally just going ass to grab because the weight was putting her there.
Once it's too heavy and she can't
Okay.
control it. Yeah, just that would, the weight would limit her. You see that real quick, right? Because it starts to come forward, she wouldn't be able to.
So
control
you would just let her go full depth, you wouldn't encourage her to put decel in at any point prior to where she's asked to grab.
Not unless she's losing her own control. Yeah, I'd let her do that.
Okay.
I'd want to maintain that.
And real quick, so we do assessments, right, at front end, so, if we have a really shitty shoulder movement, if they're a 1, this is probably like, for them, but it's probably a bad idea. If in addition to that, you're specifically evaluating shoulder flexion, and there are churches there, once again, like, they're just probably not trained in it, so they can clean, but they probably can't figure out. So that should probably be something you think about. I mean, you look back, like, all right, I want to bring this in for this person, and you check back, because you're like, it's not fresh in your head, you're like, oh shit, they have like 140 degrees of shoulder flexion. This is a bad idea for this particular person in this moment. Until we-
And make sure you check shoulder flexion in an active position. Don't just check it on table or on the ground, because that's gonna be a totally different scenario. Right? So one of the things that I do is I'll put them up against the mirror. I'll get their rib cage down, arms are out in front. They've got to maintain rib connection and they've got to go thumb to the wall. 5 repetitions and they're in a very short wall squat, right? Because that's an active catch position for them. Can they hold that? If they can do it on the table, that's a lot different because it's more passive than active. Whereas if they're in an active catch position, you have a better idea of what's going to happen up below.
Let's try 3. Getting in this position. I don't have a point. I'll think it. It's okay.
That's me.
It's all good. All right, here we go. Let's just do 3 and think about, there you go. See if that makes a difference. Oh, I was gonna say, if they got really bad shoulder mobility, a muscle snatch still might be an option. The muscle one might be an option. Yep. But not catching in a flex position with the hips. With that right side.
Yeah.
That feels much.
Feels better.
Yeah,
feels
way more
better.
stable.
Yeah,
Yeah, the thumb back.
thumb back helps a ton. It just locks that shoulder.
Also, you use the weight, you kind of get a little more flexible. You use the weight to help get.
Yeah, like what a kettlebell would do,
Yeah.
holding back, yep. Kind of offsets it a little bit. Yeah, see, you missed it.
Then I lost my balance.
Now be careful, you kind of let that arm stay straight. You want to finish, and you want to break the elbow
Right, like,
and then punch.
Would be a bad practice if we go right to that, like you just coach that.
Yeah, I would coach that right away. Yeah, I didn't coach you, you know, but yeah, I would.
Because I've got all that, I had like a long history of shoulder stuff. I was feeling weird bicep tendon stuff the entire way, but then the second I external rotated, it was like, oh, yeah, it's good.
Very good. All right, that's all I have for snatches. I mean, like I said, they're kind of simple. You don't use two, you only use one. Implementing it could be the same deal with, you know, doing the ladder. You probably could also do something like a complex when you want to do four, maybe do, 3 of those, 3 muscles. Okay, and then 3 powers. You're adding a little bit of complexity.
Should we do that right now? Right?
Let's try it. Let's give it a shot. So let's go 3 lift offs, 3 muscle snatches, and then 3 muscle power snatch. Oh, like 3 power snatches.
Should we do that now, Steve?
Dude, let's go lift off first, right? So just dumbbells down kind of at mid shin. And we're just gonna do the push away. We're gonna still be in a hinge position. We're gonna be over top of it. We're just gonna work leg extension for 3. Then we're gonna come down. We're gonna go. Let's go all the way to muscle snatch. Muscle snatch. And we're gonna get that thumb back. Muscle snatch and then power snatch. And then Skylar could even do 3 full snatch. You don't have to, but you could. Like with you can do more. The more skilled you are, the more variation you can use.
One more question, Eric.
Yeah.
Apologize for.
No problem.
But one of the things I think is important to think through is like weight selection, like how are you deciding an appropriate weight for a person? Because when you're in these total body movements, it's been my experience that too light can be equally as detrimental as too heavy.
Absolutely. The same thing I think, the same way I think you do, like start light, be like, I think you need to go heavier.
So, yeah,
You know,
so the,
Yeah, on our kettlebell seminars, we would do that all the time. We'd be like, you need more weight.
Yeah.
Just because the flow was bad, they're muscling it too much. But yeah, you would just play, you just see it.
yeah, and that's the thing is like, you have to develop that eye of knowing when something's too light, because if they don't have the ability to decelerate something that's too light, that can be very bad.
That extra weight helps a lot of the
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
Not all the time. But then once you've gone too far, once the technique falls apart.
Yep, yeah,
But
there's
yeah,
a window.
There is that game. you know?
So is there like something that we can look for? Like, let's say, because this is gonna be new for coaching for some of us, right? Kettlebell swing, you can kind of see someone who can sort of muscle it up. As one example of like, all right, that's just simply too light, you should be able to muscle it, right? So that's a cue to go up there. Is there a thing that you see super commonly, you're like, yeah, I have to go up because I see this thing?
Sometimes it just looks too easy.
Okay.
Oh, and the power's not very good. So if you think about.
It's like speed, like their hips mostly.
Yeah,
or like-
or the implement itself, the dumbbell itself. Sometimes if it's too light, it just doesn't move that fast. And you need more resistance to apply more force. If you think about force equals mass times acceleration, sometimes you need that mass piece to increase. And then everything else, the total power improves, right? Total power improves. So, heard this example one time talking about this, where if I'm gonna break that window with an object, right, and I have a wiffle ball, dude, I can throw the wiffle ball as hard as I could at it. Not gonna break it. I have really heavy shot put, right? I can't get it there. I can't get it to the window. If you give me a baseball, it's heavy enough to be able to apply a lot of force to it and still move it fast, that's gonna break the window. So that's the game you're playing when you're doing weight selection a lot of times. Is you want to get that max output of force, but you have to have the right weight to do it. Make sense?
Yeah.
T-bike doesn't break the window. Like, golf break the window. All right, so let's go to jerks. Like jerks last, am I good on time? Yeah. Oh, we got. Good. This is good. All right, we're actually finished early. Never happened. The first 3 days, so late.
They're all gonna hang you, put into a workout.
You know, I hadn't thought about that, but maybe. You think about what they will break. I
Well,
can
put EDU stuff.
I can brainstorm, yeah. All right, so let's talk jerks. We're gonna need to go back to 2 dumbbells. All right, and we'll go through a little progression here just to get the press correct, the push press, what the power jerk looks like, and then we'll go into split jerks. I like split jerks with dumbbells. They take a lot of athleticism, a lot of muscles have to work. They're independent, so you both have to fire. You need a lot of stability for these. Sometimes with the barbell, you can get away with poor shoulder stability and still do a decent amount of weight because you have that bar to fix onto. But with the dumbbells, there's really no room for that. So let's just start with some simple presses. And the positions are gonna be, which you've already learned, whatever you can handle. So like, 15, 20 is fine, something like that. We're gonna go dumbbell on the shoulders. We're just gonna keep the legs nice and still. And we're gonna reach overhead.
There's no one.
Here's 20 right here.
Watch yourself, man. And it's probably for hurt attention, like you're it still hurts. I might just down my lighter all there. So with these, we want to go, and we can share too. So if we don't have enough weights, you can feel free to share. Totally fine.
It's really 25.
There's a 25 over here.
You want these things?
Yeah,
20, I'll say 30.
you could.
It'll be harder.
It would be. It would be. So the great thing about pressing with the dumbbells, they're all gonna be neutral, or we're not gonna go this way at all. We're all gonna go neutral grip. And like we talked about with the dumbbell snatch, it just puts that shoulder in a better position. That hurts a little bit less for most people. So let's just do some strict presses first. Feet are in a jumping stance, so they're gonna be right underneath your hips for all the pressing exercises to start. And then similar position as the dumbbell front squat, elbows are underneath. Dumbbells racked on the shoulders. Big breath in, hold it. Drive it up overhead in the finish position where the upper arms are even with the ears. You don't want to be here in the front. A little behind is actually better than in front. So just here and then come all back down to the shoulder. Let's just do 5. All the way down the shoulder. Nice and tall, squeeze your butt. Lock your quads, squeeze your butt cheeks, push. Big breath in. Press. 5. That stability of the lower body, okay? So I'm gonna see your quads. I'm gonna see your butt cheeks squeeze. See your belly tighten up. Big breath in. Good. Really reach out and the top. Good. All right, so there's your standard press, okay? Your next move would be, and we're just moving up the coordination ladder here a little bit, would be a push press. So nice and taut, and we're gonna do a small dip. And up, okay? And when we dip, I have this on my key points here. We're gonna dip, and you kind of asked about this earlier. We're gonna dip and drive through a flat foot. You can come up on your toes a little bit, but you return back to that flat foot to stabilize it overhead. Okay, we don't want to be up here like this trying to balance on our toes. So it's right, and it's just a small little dip, right? Olympic lifters dip 7% of their height. So if you want to do that math, go ahead. But we don't want to go too far. Sometimes when you dip, what's that?
That's an interesting.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not all the same, but it's around there.
that's good. That's actually really useful to know.
Yeah.
'Cause that kind of give you an estimation of power position.
Right. So another thing you can look for too is if they're dipping too far, they're gonna start to hinge. We don't want the torso to tip forward because then the weights are gonna go forward, or they're gonna be loopy in some way. So we have to stay completely vertical, dip straight down, and then straight up. Okay, and let's just do 5. Back on your shoulders a little bit more. There you go. That wider elbows is okay.
Okay, I got you. I was trying to.
Yeah, you don't have to totally be, that's good right there. A little tip, tall. No, up, don't let your hips come back at all. Just think about flexing your knees forward. Just knee forward. And come back to your heels overhead. Right, so you said you just stand up over your toes. Try to just get through your toes and then come back to your heels. Good. Still giving you too much hip flexion back. Just think about knees forward. Another way to practice this would be up against the wall. Just come off the wall a little bit and you would slide down and slide up. Keep your back against the wall. So for you, what you're saying is you're gonna be doing that, your shoulder blades are gonna come off all the
I
wall.
had a bunch of macaroni salad.
You're just a little bit off the wall, we're gonna slide down. You see, it's just knees.
Yeah.
It's just knee flexion. Okay? Yeah. Good. I think it's- It's 'cause you're in too much.
I can see.
Need more quad action. So that's the push press. Y'all are quite good doing the push press. The next one is the power jerk. This one's a little bit more difficult. I'm gonna go lighter weight. Actually. I haven't done much of my head because of the shoulder. So in the power jerk, it's a dip and drive. That's the same, but then you're gonna catch overhead in a mini squat position. You can see I'm not great at this because my elbows are bending already. I'm struggling to reach. So, but we're gonna go dip, drive, dip, stand. Now in weightlifting, you can do more weight with the power jerk because you're using your legs twice. All right, so in the push press, we use the legs once, we dip, we drive, we have to finish out overhead. The bar or the dumbbells have to get all the way to your full extended arm position to get a successful rep. With the power jerk, dip, you drive, you drop back underneath the bar, you use your legs again and then stand it up to the full height. Okay, so there's just a little bit more coordination. Dip, drive, dip, lock out the elbows, and then stand it up.
You shouldn't have been working on that.
Sure, you're gonna go. Dip, drive, dip, catch, and then stand. A lot of people are very bad at these.
When I do the secondary,
Dodge,
it's really.
Downtown.
Dip, drive, dip. And then make sure you stand it up all the way, and then come back to the shoulders. Boom. See how it's hard to hold overhead, especially with the dumbbells.
Are you,
Make sure you finish all the way and then under.
Is the second dip coming after you're already up here?
okay.
No, so you're gonna fully extend and then you're gonna think about pushing yourself under the dumbbell. And then you're gonna
So
stand.
that's where the second dip's coming from.
Correct.
Okay.
You got it.
Good,
Chin.
correct. You're figuring it out. Good. You just gotta stabilize that catch,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
what-
very hard to do.
Yeah, it's not easy.
There you go, Joe.
Was it really? Okay.
The action was correct. The upper body mobility.
All right, you give me
Same problem.
Felt wrong, honestly. Sorry, that's that.
Actually, makes your class feel really good.
That was a jerk. That was a power jerk.
Okay.
It was. If you catch with soft bend knees, it's a. There it is. That's a
Yeah.
jerk. That's it.
Crushed it.
Not comfortable, not fun, not easy.
And three.
Yeah, 3 is enough. You don't need a whole lot of, again, I like these for coordination, especially with the dumbbell. If you're an Olympic weightlifter and, most of the time you're gonna split jerk. Every now and then you see these freaks that power jerk to a full squat. Got the bar up here in the shoulders and they have to try, and then they go all the way down with like 400 pounds and then stand it up, right? They're just super mobile and the Chinese lifters do that, like almost all of them do that. But it's really hard to do with dumbbells. It's really hard for a lot of people just to do that exercise in general, but it's great for coordination. You said your lats felt looser. doing
Yeah, I
that.
feel a lot better.
Yeah, so it can aid in some
That
mobility.
totally makes sense.
Yeah. So if you have somebody that you want to have them do this, they've got some coordination, but they've got tight lats, maybe you superset a prayer stretch or a catch stretch with these, you loosen them up. And you hit the exercise, go back, something like that, could be an option. All right, the last one here is a split jerk, okay? And I like these are super athletic. Let's make sure we have some space, and I think it'll be beneficial for all of us to be on a line to start with, a line in between our legs. So if we can get a space or we have a line, that big white line's perfect for you, Joe. That one's good. You have a line in between. You can go here also, yeah. And actually the width of this for you is quite good. And the reason then you're gonna have to move all those dumbbells because we're gonna split our legs front to back. Okay, so move those dumbbells. We'll do it without weights first. You don't want to step into it.
Yeah, it's sort of be right here.
You're probably gonna move it.
Split, I'm in.
Which would.
Jerk. In the split jerk, we've got feet directly underneath our hips. Dumbbells are gonna be up on our side. We're gonna dip and drive, and then we're gonna catch in a split position. Recover, and then come on back down to the shoulders.
Is
Okay,
that a 1-2? Is that like a split jump?
I'll explain it in a second.
Okay.
You can do it with one.
Okay.
You probably do it with two mostly, but you could do it with one. You can do split cleans also. Maybe we'll do those too. You could do the split snatch too. That's not an easy one either. But so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go, here are the points of emphasis with this. Line is in between our legs because we want to keep the feet at hip width when we're in the split. One of the things I have on my key points is avoid tight roping. And that means, and you see people do this all the time, they dip and drive and then they land like this. And then all of a sudden they have zero stability side to side. You don't want to be doing jerks with balance beam, not good. So whatever width you are here, this foot goes here, that foot goes there. So we maintain that width, that we have that side to side balance. Okay. So we're gonna move through this together. So let's go. Elbows up nice and high. Well, just pretend you've got weights in your hands, okay? I want you to just dip and hold. So we'll dip straight down. We're nice and tall. I see you guys tipping already. Just bend the knees, okay? And then we're gonna split. Go ahead, go. Good. Arms are overhead. And then if we look at our legs, the front shin should be straight up and down. Okay, if the front shin's not straight up and down and your knees forward over your toe, you need to either get a little bit longer or your back leg is too straight. Okay, so we want to see that front shin straight up and down. We want to see, whoa, the heels elevated on the back leg, and this knee is directly underneath the hip. But that knee is directly underneath the hip. Okay, this, if I straighten this leg out, you see this knee moves forward and then we've lost our balance. We want to be 50-50 with pressure on our feet. Once we're here, we're going to recover this way. We have to go front foot first, small slide back, and then the other foot steps up. Okay. The reason we do that is because if we get the back leg moving forward, the weights start to move forward and it's easier to dump them and lose them. But if we recover front foot first, now we're pushing those weights up and back and they're much more secure overhead. Okay. Now, have people won gold medals recovering with their back foot first? Yes, but the pros, sometimes it happens. So let's go through it again, and then I'll make some corrections. And then Joe's asking about the order of feet hitting the ground. Is that what your question was? The back foot, you want the back foot to hit slightly first so that front foot can run through. Okay, just like you would be doing if you're running, you push off that foot to step forward. If you listen, this is my jerk here. You hear it? We got back foot first, slightly first. And it allows me to get that front foot moving forward and my head underneath the weights. Okay, so let's try. We'll do some together without the weight. There we go. Feet are in the hips. So you have your line there to check to make sure that you're not tight roping. All right, so here we go. Let's go dip and hold. All right, jerk, hold, check your feet, check your front knee. Okay, let's go front foot back. Just a small little slide step. Back foot up. Okay, let's do it again. Right, here we go, dip and hold. Jerk. Front foot slide back. Back foot up. Okay, let's do one more time. Ready? Dip and hold. Jerk. Front foot forward. Keep going. Yep, right there. Good. Front foot up. Keep going. I'm gonna make you hold this position, so you're just gonna have to hold it here for a bit. Front foot forward, not me.
Oh,
Back knee bends down.
Jeez, I'm just tight. Like shaking, just holding this position. Pretty great.
Give me another couple inches. Good, good.
Wow.
Reach. This is yoga, ready? And front foot back, oh girl, you came out of it. Front foot back foot up. Now we gotta do it again. Once I missed this side of the room. You ready? Here we go. Nice and tall. Here we go, dip and hold. Jerk. Better, right? You got more range of motion that time. You could go front.
I'm like.
Only extending my range. But I like raising my rib cage is just like. Yeah, correct. Struggling to, you gotta type that. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Front foot recover. Back foot up. Good. All right, so if you have a really tall person like myself, when I used to do Olympic lifting meets, I would just do them for fun to kind of learn what it felt like to do Olympic lifting so I can better coach my athletes. I got a really good tip. It was hard for me. So I have to get pretty long. If I got like max weight overhead, I struggled to go boom and then to here. So I would actually do a double slide step, like a small one, back one. So if you're ever overhead and you're kind of losing your balance, you take that front foot double slide step and then bring the back leg up. Okay. Okay. Ready to try some with dumbbells?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Let's give it a shot.
Are you always putting the dominant leg in the front?
Yes. So that's, yes, for the most part, if you're doing Olympic lifts with the barbell, you always go with that strong leg forward. Did anybody have any question as to which leg should be forward, or did you just naturally know?
I just said both.
You did both.
I preferred mine.
You have a
Strong side to go
preference, so you can feel a
forward,
preference.
I like my opposite.
What do you mean?
I like one forward.
Same, I'm a right-hander, but I like my left leg forward too.
Hey, can we really quick before you leave, just do a picture?
Sure.
I'm sorry to interrupt everybody.
That's
I
all right.
apologize.
I would love to stay for more of your class. We gotta go get an adjustment.
All right, who knows how to do the
Where you
leg
go?
kick thing?
Dr.
wait,
Thomas
found it.
Steele, the back
I
state.
know it's not mine, right? We're-
Yeah,
I've been looking for a chiropractor, I haven't been in one in like.
yeah, dude, this
Oh,
guy
that's
is really good.
pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, but thank you so much, man. You're like a tall Ryan Reynolds.
He's heard that so many times.
Actually, I've heard that.
When we go like kind of where like Evan is, this would be a 10-second delay. We can only take it once because we have to swing dumbbells again.
Jason.
You guys want to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want? Do you want the
Or we
box
can go over
or
there.
the chair?
Whatever.
What do you want us to cut? You know, let's go to Jason.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do that.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't think the location all the way through there. No, where you?
Oh, I'll let Joe sit here. and I'll sit there.
This is actually still all being recorded. Jason, if you're okay, I'm gonna sit in your lap.
Thank you.
All right, it's 10-second countdown.
Yeah, Joe, I assume you just sit here.
Hey, all right, thank you, everybody.
We're all sweaty.
Yeah.
Yes, well, it's good, we're doing work.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys.
Thank you, I appreciate you coming.
See you, man.
Yeah.
See you guys. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Sorry about that. Oh, all good. All right, so let's try some split jerks. Go ahead, move over.
Social media man.
You got all have shoes on, I would stay on the turf.
Yeah.
That might slide a little bit
Yeah.
for you. All right, so here you go, let's try some split jerks. Let's just do, let's do 3 reps, okay? No pause on these, right? So, we were doing the pause just for the sake of the drilling, but just go, just to get driving go. Reach, let that back knee bend a little, both knees need to bend more. That's slightly too much, but around there. Front foot, back foot, good. Good, right over there.
Stop there.
Trying to get less airtime. A little floaty. You really floated, you just need more weight. Right? There's an example, needs more weight.
Yep.
If you can jump up in the air like that, it's too heavy, it's too light, okay? I know, but then it's new. Good job.
No, I'm doing things wrong. I'm not doing it wrong.
I know, I missed
It,
it.
it felt like way too much. And
No,
felt like muscle.
well, yeah, I guess it sounds like,
Okay,
it probably should feel like work.
okay, I feel like there's just something off though. Not deep enough for one, to like right in my catch.
You can drive through with your legs more.
Okay,
I don't think you're driving through with your legs. Jump that thing up. Stand up fast, jump down. They move faster there. With the extra speed, it's hard to control.
Yeah.
Okay?
that's
So
probably why I was being like timid to drive up, because I was worried about like.
most, yes, that makes sense. So if you have somebody who doesn't know which leg they need to step with, there's a couple easy ways to test it. You just go up to the step or a box. You don't tell them what you're doing. Just be like, hey, walk up to the box. Just stand there. Like, step on the box. Whatever leg they go with first is gonna be the leg that goes forward, almost all the time. If you think about when you go upstairs, most of your strong leg's gonna lead almost all the time. Another way to do it is, here, Joe, let's do it.
What do you think? Hold-
Yeah, so no, Joe knows what's coming, but, you're just gonna let him lean into you, so give me your body weight. Come on. Oh,
You didn't even hold me. I was.
I got you. Come on. And then you let him get fully, then you just come out of the way. And then he'll catch himself with the strong leg, the leg that leads. So that's, there's a couple ways to do it. So, good variations. Now if I have an Olympic lifter that struggles to really hold this position well, I'll have him do presses from a split. So let's give let's give those a shot. Presses from a split. Okay, so this would be good for you. Like you're kind of all over the place. You don't know where your position is yet. So you get into the position, you just start there with dumbbells on your shoulders. And you just press from the split position. Okay, so let's give those a shot. Let's go into our split, put the dumbbell on your shoulders. And you're just gonna press from a split. And then you could alternate legs on these. If you're not an Olympic lifter, you probably want to alternate legs on this. And then you can start to feel your balance front to back, or if you have too much weight on your front foot and not enough on your back foot, then get back a little bit more. There you go.
We want that front shin to be vertical there.
Vertical, yeah.
Okay.
Get that foot flat. Good. That's it. And you're trying to avoid, what you'll see people want to do when it gets heavy is to drive with their legs. The goal is to be static with that lower body and just reach with the arms. So it builds specific strength.
Miserable.
The jerk. Bend your back anymore. That's it. Bend your front anymore. These are hard. You can see the balance challenge here too. This could be, all in all, though, it's not very technically difficult. You have somebody with good shoulder range of motion, and you want to do a press variation that involves the lower body and to a decent degree, this is a good one to do, I would think, for general population. So I've had normal athletes, just not Olympic lifters, but athletes do these as well. It's kind of similar to a running position in some ways. And then it's just takes a little effort to make sure you're not moving
Well, I
around.
think the beauty of that is like, I feel like when you're upright, you're more likely to go in extension. The second you go in that split stance, you've got a better base down here. I feel like you're less likely to kind
Yeah.
of rent space.
It's a neat variation of
Yeah.
presses that you don't see a whole lot.
And
So I think that'd be a good one to do, because you're right, because when you're here with your leg underneath you,
very easy.
I mean, I do it too. The cage flares out like crazy, but if you split it doesn't. And you could go both legs with that. Let's see, do I have anything else? Split your power, I don't have presses from a split there, but you guys know when to add that yourself. Okay, all right, I think I hit all my points. Now the last one I have on there is clean and jerk. So this is where you combine both things together. You do a full clean, stand it up, get your feet back underneath you, split jerk. Okay, that's the full motion. Let's give it a shot. Let's try it.
So if, let's say my FMS squat is trash, let's say it's like a 1, would you elevate some seals on this, or it's just like not even prescribed?
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
I
okay,
wouldn't do it, yeah. I wouldn't do it.
got it. All right. I'll
Do you
walk.
know a person who has a really bad one, like a 1 on their metric?
I have a couple clients that.
Not you.
Yeah, it's not me, yeah. No,
You can try them with small light weights though,
Yeah.
I mean, just for fun.
yeah, just,
You can give
I'll have a
it
wider base.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah,
You can split to a wider base and then stand up, adjust your feet, and then do the jerk. Alright, so let's
It's
do
really
it.
like 2 different things, right? Like.
It's 2
1,
motions
2.
together, so you've gotta stop. Right, adjust those feet and then do the split jerk. Okay, and there's other things we can do, we don't stop. We'll talk about those in a second. So go ahead, here we go, let's go full clean, let's go all the way to the floor, let's touch the head of those dumbbells to the ground. Do the full clean with the squat. Stand up, pause, adjust your feet, do the jerk. Good, recover. Back down to the shoulders, back down to the waist. I think, let's go about 3 reps. And those ankles don't flex, do they?
no.
That's right, yep. See how they pop like crazy?
Yeah, I felt that.
You held the form pretty solidly. Do the whole thing. Try not to shuffle as wide. So what I want you to think about, you notice how you're always catching real wide like this? Think about putting your feet down in the same space where they started from.
I think that's one of my problems. I feel like when I catch it, I'm like.
You're
so
way too wide.
balanced and
Yeah,
like off
you're
balance.
way too wide. So just think about that. Just like shuffle, but shuffle into the same spot.
So it's like a-
And that's what should happen. So think about shuffling into the same spot. Squat, 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 stand up, feet underneath you more, and split jerk. Hold, recover.
Steve.
All right, not bad. Got a little long, a little
Yeah.
deep. Don't forget. A little long, a little deep.
There's a lot of things thinking about there.
Yeah, that's right. Like, this is a lot, right?
Yeah.
This is why I think these things are so beneficial, because you really have to think your way through it. One of the things I like to do is modify reps with pauses and, slow eccentrics and different variations, because you've really got to think about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that thinking about it as you're doing actually yields to better results.
I
It helps connect things a little bit better.
to think and feel the connection between, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I totally agree with that.
One thing I didn't, that I should bring up here with the jerk, for stability, I didn't say this at all, but if you think about squeezing your adductors together when you're in the split, that'll give you a little bit more stability. So think about squeezing them together, and then that'll aid in your stability. Okay, so you'll see sometimes Olympic weight that you have that squeeze together, and then you're just a lot more stable. So I talked earlier about being able to turn muscles on and off really quickly. I mean, that's Olympic lifting. So we're loose and fast, and then we lock everything in place to stabilize that weight. And you'll even see Olympic lifters sometimes, their front foot will turn in slightly in the front, and their back heel will kick out slightly in the back. And that's just aiding in that squeeze of the adductors, which leads to stability all the way up the chin. So just a little something. I'm sure I don't have on my sheet. Let's do a clean thruster. Okay, clean thruster. So you're gonna go start with and let's go. I'll just have you go from the hang on these. You're gonna clean it down to the full squat and then right up to a thruster. Okay, full squat to a press. You come back to your shoulders, come on down, full squat to a press. So this is good because you have to think about, you can't stop at the top of the squat. You've got to drive through it with your legs. So let's just start 3. We can go from the hang on these. We got a long line of action with that thruster, so we can shorten up the clean. Right to thruster, good. Like thruster, nice. Put it on the shoulders.
So what-
Sometimes
still
you-
too wide, I'm still too
Sometimes
wide.
you press before your legs finish overhead. Okay. One more. So you're doing something that I should bring up about pressing. And when we add in, not just the strict press, when we add in the push press, you see this from time to time. And it makes sense because you're kind of doing it with the cleans too. Got down here, starts to press before the legs have finished. And you start to activate that shoulder before your legs do all the work. You've got to let the legs finish, all that energy transmits up through your spine, and then you follow through. So it slows your dumbbells down.
Yeah.
Okay, do you feel it happening at all?
Yeah, I think it's just fatigue.
It very well could be, but it also could just be that movement pattern's
Yeah.
off a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. One more fun thing. Now that we've learned how to split, let's try a split thing. Here. That should split. The recovery's the same. Switch legs on these. Recovery's the same. Okay. So let's just do like 2 right, 2 left. So this is the version for you because your squat is a 1.
Yeah,
You would do split cleans.
yeah, that felt smooth.
Yes. Front foot first. There you go. Make sure you recover. Got it. Okay. Don't let yourself sink so low. Turn those brakes on. So you got all that mobility, right? But sometimes you're missing tension when you're that mobile. So do your clean. So we're not dipping down real low. Catch it, stick it, don't let yourself fall down. Do a couple more. Better. Front foot first, back foot, do the other side now. Put the brakes on, don't let it push you down to the floor. Push across. Better, good. Better. Nice job. So yeah, this is the, if you still want to clean with people, you don't want to have a full squat, do a split clean. That's the hack for old people that still want an Olympic lift, but their knees are shot. They split clean and they split snatch. Split snatches are like from the past. You see people do those in the 50s and 60s and 70s. If you're way down here and snatch, but it's less effective.
Is the clean coming from more of a hinge position or squat?
Hinge.
position?
Yeah.
Got it.
Most, yeah.
Got it.
But if you do the full thing, you get the squat too. That's the
Sure.
beauty of the clean is it encompasses it all. You got the hinge and you get the squat. So that's what's good about it. Nice combination. All right, cool. Any questions?
I have a question, Eric. So, I think it's cool that you have, coaching of not only lifters, but field sport athletes.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about, obviously, there's a lot on the spectrum, but just a little bit about some of the different things you would incorporate for the field sport athletes in terms of maybe variations in technique or programming in, some of these movements that you've
So
shown us.
for a lot of the guys.
Is everyone good with what field sports are?
Yeah, soccer, baseball, football, anything you play on the field or on a court, I guess,
Yeah.
Would hockey and basketball be in that too, like ice hockey or?
I mean,
Yeah.
I would put it on there. Yeah, field or court sports,
Yeah.
just team sports in general, like track and field, you could put that in there as an individual sport, but just things that are more of an athletic base versus just,
Olympic.
Olympic specific.
Yeah, Olympic lifting is like a real, you got your group of snatch, clean and jerk.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to build those 2 things up in squat and you're just trying
Mhm.
to get those through the roof as much as you can. I love to use a lot of the Olympic lifting variations with the field sport athletes though,
Yeah.
because it develops so much power and coordination and stability and all those attributes. You do them at high reps, you get conditioning as well too. But you would do more upper body wise, you would do more bench pressing for those guys, at least I would. I do a lot of benching with my guys. They would sprint more. They would do stuff like split jumps, just more plyometric type actions.
Yeah, so I think my biggest question would be like more specifically, do you tend to favor hang positions for them versus full positions, or do you?
I like them to do full positions, and
Okay.
I'm probably in the minority with a lot of sports performance coaches in that regard.
Okay,
I like them to have full range of motion. I
Yeah.
like them to apply force through a full range of motion. So I try to get them. Now, some guys just can't get there and we'll do a lot of stuff in the hand. One of my favorite things to teach, how to teach them how to clean is to do it from pins. So I don't think you have safety pins on this one, but or from blocks. Is you say in a lot of squat racks, they have the safety pins you put on for
Yep.
squatting. You set those things at knee height and you learn to do cleans from there.
Sure.
And then we'll do a lot of cleans from there, and then we'll move down to blocks, and then we'll move down to the floor. But I do try to get them to do all the Olympic lifting movements and be competent in them.
Okay.
Definitely the clean, definitely push presses with the bar.
Yeah, so question on
Overhead
push press, I'm
squats.
glad you said that, like, one of the things that I have them do, and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, is I will have, when they're push pressing, I will have them attempt to leave the ground as much as possible.
Without actually, so I tell them to think about jumping through the legs, but
Okay.
without leaving the ground.
Okay,
I don't like them leaving the ground. I like that contact on the ground.
okay,
That air time. It's just, there's, you can't apply force once you've left the ground.
it's fair.
You can't apply force once you left the ground. Now, you want to feel like you're jumping real hard, and if it's heavy enough, you won't leave the ground.
Like, yeah, exactly, like, if the weight's right, it's gonna handle itself.
Totally. Yeah, like you on your jerks, both of you were getting a lot of lift. And you just go heavy. Yeah, never too late. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just like with the sport athletes, just stacking anaerobic work on top of each other.
Sure.
You know, building those, I like them to be skilled lifters. And, it's when they develop those coordination skills, so you see it on the field, they really do come out.
So, my question, so. Earlier in my career, I like to think I'm a little younger in this place, that I would learn a thing. And either I would go too hard, or do too much of it, or it was a little confusing for me as to where it fit in, and I just would never do it.
Yeah,
So my goal after this is that no one's in either of those two places. So the question would be that, how would you begin to implement this with people that are good candidates?
any exercise, like, I would start to build the pieces. So you do parts of the things and then eventually get to the whole, kind of like you did with like Turkish get-up type stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I said, we start with the front squats. You start with the hinging, maybe you do the dumbbell jumps. You do the shorter range of motion from the knees, and then maybe you go to the full range of motion. With the snatch, maybe you just start with that muscle snatch action. That was pretty easy. Sort of like to do that. With the jerks, you obviously start with some pressing. Maybe you go to press from split next, and then you try to work in split jerk. So just simple pieces first, and then build the complexity after that. Which I recommend you just give it a shot, and play with it. And you'll learn as much as you can. You'll just learn best from teaching. So if you want to learn how, one time when I started, I wanted to get better at the Olympic lifts. This is like 2010. So I petitioned to run an Olympic lifting class because I wanted to learn how to teach the Olympic lifts really well. And so I'm like, hey, can I teach a class called Olympic lifting? And they're like, sure. So I got 4 kids into it, and the final, back when we used to have finals, was to compete in the meet. We found a local meet and we had to go compete at the meet. So that put the pressure on me to learn as much as I could about it. And then it also put the pressure on them, like, oh man, I got to get up on the stage and do this in front of people. So just, you gotta be willing to practice it. I don't think you'll overdo it, maybe, but maybe not.
So is
When your
everyone,
client starts to get annoyed with you, then
is everyone okay with how you would begin to implement this with the right candidates? Like, is anyone not sure about that? Any questions you want to ask in that specific area?
Is there anything to be mindful with golfers specifically? Because we have a lot of golfers.
Just from the few that I've worked with, they just make sure they have the range of motion first, make sure they have that mobility. A lot of them, man, they hinge like garbage. They just always get this rounded back position when they hinge. Just make sure they can hinge well. And you're probably teaching them some rack pull deadlifts, kettlebell swings, right? Those types of things. So if they can do those things well, they're probably okay. Like, I like to think as golfers, as athletes, as much as people think they just play games, but I think golfers, some of them are really good, explosive athletes. So a lot of them will pick this stuff up quite well. I gotta think about like Davis can do these things. I've had him in middle school, I know he can. So it's like, treat them as athletes. as long as they have the mobility.
Follow up to that, those that play like way too much golf, but there's a lot of. They actually, I don't know what it's called, I'm not sure if it's full golf or shoulder, I'm making that term. Because they spend so much time here, they've got one shoulder lower than the other.
Yeah.
Is that a concern at all with holding dumbbells in the rack position if you know they're gonna be like, oh, off?
I'd put them in front of the mirror
Okay.
and then I'm wondering, cause I'm just thinking out
Like
loud.
some
here.
of them are stuck there, like legitimately, I don't know if any of yours are, I bet you, Jason, do you have?
Oh,
any
yeah,
that are-
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Wondering if loading them up actually evens that out a little bit, forces the other side.
For the younger
to
kids,
activate.
it usually does, like they'll usually, but they can feel the weight shift, so it'll usually get them to square up a little bit better.
Yeah, I think it might be something to try to get them out of it.
Okay.
Something to think about. Yeah, put in front of the mirror for sure so they can see it. That's what I'll do. So I'll think about that. If you're gonna have them press, some of them might not just be great at pressing because they're. You know, they're always in that shadow, they're forward position.
Which we gotta get them out of that position anyway, because if they've got shitty mobility
Yeah,
here, then the backswing's affected.
so there's another, we got the split presses, that's where those come in.
To go back to one of Joe's original questions, I think one of the things that's important to kind of think about from a programming standpoint. There's different, and Eric did a great job of like interjecting all of the different methods you can put this into the equation. But like being mindful of load and rep range, like if you are doing this for power development, there's a specific load parameter that they should be in and a rep range that is, there's a spectrum, but it's there. Metabolically is totally different than power development. And so understanding the stimulus that you're trying to generate once the technique is proficient is going to be super important, right? And technical failure is the end of all scenarios.
So, any other questions?
You did record this?
Totally,
Okay,
I'll
cool.
share it.
I'll go back and watch it again.
So much of the work that.
Yeah, that's all right, I think we've got enough in.
Yeah.
I've seen these looks on faces before where it's like, I'm not doing it anymore. And it's not